Here we go. You are live. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are located in the world. I want to welcome you to the first edition in 2026 of our Kingdom Fundraisers Live. In other words, Faith Funding Fridays. How about that? It's Fundraising Friday. I welcome you all to join us. I'm so glad you're here. I want to tell you in advance, and I'm hoping it doesn't mess with you. My computer, maybe I have too much stuff in it now. My computer has been like skipping a beat a little bit every now and then. It will do everything it needs to do, and then like note takers on Zoom, the takers want to do everything, and for some odd reason, it's saying that the people invited on the Zoom is not there, the participants. So I'm doing Zoom, I'm doing Facebook, I'm LinkedIn, I'm on uh, YouTube, and so there's Marcus joining the meeting. I think he's on Zoom this morning. Look at that. So I think Mark is coming to join on Zoom. He's also on live as well as you're going to join me on Zoom this morning, Mark, or are you just live right here on? Look, man, I tell you, I got so many buttons going. So which one are you on? Just continue right here on StreamYard. I hope you come on back over here. I know you're on Facebook because I need you on StreamYard. Facebook keeps sending me all these messages, and excuse me, Zoom is sending me all these messages, and so I'm not too sure what that all means. I'm going to try to get this recording. Phantom is waiting to be included on Zoom. I'm on Zoom. I thought I saw you, Mark, on Zoom a minute ago, but I'm going to come back out of Zoom, everybody. So if you're on Zoom, just stay right there. I'll be back to see where you are. And I look for Mark to join me right here on StreamYard here in a minute. I don't know what this is, why it's doing that. And it's okay because we're here. You're here. I'm here. So, when you go live, you got to play with all the toys. And I did notice something that I should be able to do, as I probably told you all in a minute ago, that I would be moving from StreamYard to Restream, and primarily because Restream allows us to um, record live on 5 channels versus what StreamYard only allows me to record live on 3. And I want to be able to be live with all of my people, all of you all that follow me all over the world and all over the country. And so I want to make sure that my friend Mark is able to connect. And so y'all just forgive me as I reach out to him. He is my friend and my brother and my co-partner. Are you joining me today? There's my message directly to him. There you go. Now, back to you all because you are here. And so I want to make sure that I'm serving each and every one of you live each and every day with what we have to offer. As I said, it's the beginning of the year. It's the first Wednesday in our 2026 year. We closed out last Wednesday. I believe we had partial video. And I sent a short message, but I wanted to go live today, and I'm getting ready to do some traveling today. 2026, it brings a lot of great changes and opportunities for all of us. With the clients that I'm working with this year, I'm going to be doing some one-on-one visits with each one of you. I'm going to be visiting each one of your sites, and more than that, a couple of you all will be doing some launching for Brother Jose down in Houston, Texas area. Brother Wilmer and Cindy in the Lorain, Ohio area. We're going to be doing some live with you all, getting you all ready to launch. And I'm hoping our sisters in Atlantic area, Kadesh Cares, they'll be ready to do some things this year. We'll be visiting many of you. So if I didn't call your name, don't take it personal. Cindy and my dear, I got another sister that I'm working with out of California, and that's Cindy and Pamela with the organization that I'm working with them on, and it's called the Friends of Veterans Homes. They're in the Los Angeles area, and so there are some great people we are doing some work with, and I'm grateful to each and every one of you. Pastor Edie out of Chicago, Pastor Wilson out of Chicago, my dear brother and friend, my business partner, Brother Kenny Ayers. Yes, I'm calling out names today. So if I didn't call yours, you need to send me a message and say why. Uh, but again, as I look for my friend, Brother Mark, to join me this morning, he may be a little behind because he gets so busy sometimes that he ends up missing the podcast. And if he does, guess what? I'm okay because I know his schedule. I know he's a very busy and a hardworking brother. And so if he doesn't get to join me today, I'm not going to be disappointed because what I'm going to give you, if you want the script, that I'll actually send you a copy of the script as a checklist of all of the things that we're doing. I also send it to him so that he will have it. Again, he is not on Zoom, and I'm not saying here with me right now. So let me pray with him and for him and hope that there's nothing wrong. But where he is, it's late night. He may have already fallen asleep and not realized how late it was. But that doesn't hinder you and I, right? Amen. So now, guess what? We're at the beginning of the year. I'm going to come back in a minute to each one of you all. But as we're going to the beginning of the year, I just want to remind you all, and again, welcome you. When I tell you my computer's freezing, it really is. I want to welcome you to what I now call Fundraising Fridays right here on the Kingdom Fundraisers Live podcast. Right here, where faith meets strategy, right? And vision meets provision. That's what we're here to do. And I'm your host, as I said before, Willie Peterson, but you all know me and call me Pastor Willie. I appreciate that. For my new friends that are a part of the Kingdom Builders Academy, who I'm working with around the country. You all are welcome, and I'm thankful for each one of you all who are part of that network. God has just been good, and He's always good, but He's really blessed us to be able to be partnering. When I say us, I'm talking about Ella and I, We Pete Inc., Willie and Ella Pete Incorporated, but we're able to work with so many different people. She's off now doing some things. We're preparing, working with CNAs around the country. We'll be heading into Jacksonville for our final training on this weekend to become to actually launch the Life Care Academy that Ella is in charge of, where she's doing CPR, first aid, ADE, CNA training. And our goal at the end of this session this weekend is to be able to certify her to be able for you to actually take the state test, to go through our program and take the state test and then go find work. Yes, God is, as I said, He's expanded our coast, our territory. We were just refunded with an organization here in the Palm Bay and Melbourne area called Health First, where a lot of the CNAs that we'll be training in 2026 will be able to actually go to work for this organization. And so I say all of that not to really encourage you all, to let you know, if I can do it, guess what? You can too. And that's really what we're trying to do today, is get you ready to launch your 2026 in that same manner, to be able to do a checklist of where you are and what you're already doing. Somebody, you need to know what you did and what you accomplished in 2025. You need to go back and look at your successes. You need to look at your failures. You need to look at what needs to be fixed or what's broken so you can fix it or eliminate it. Come on, somebody. There are some things in 2025 that we tried to do that we need to let go. Huh? Leaving those things which are behind, and we're pressing toward the mark in 2026. And so I'm asking you to take a good look at those things, right? I want you to be able to look at where you are, whether you're leading a church or a nonprofit or a community initiative, or you're just trying to figure out how to fund what God has placed on your heart. Listen, you're in the right place, and we want to make sure we get you going. So the goal right now is to help you build momentum here in 2026, your year of intentional fundraising. That's what we're doing right now. We're trying to prepare you for what we call intentional fundraising. Are you with me? We don't want it, what you're trying to do, what you're working on, to be accidental, that fall upon something. We want to give you some strategies. Hello, somebody, that will help you be intentional in your fundraising. And so that's how we're going to start. So what I want you to think about is the promise of this new year. Acknowledge the fact that 25 closed with some mixed emotions, mixed economic signals. We realized what was going around in the country. Inflation is cooling, but continued funding is a competition. We're still trying to find out where money is at. And so we want to reframe 2026 as the year of opportunity, clarity, preparation, not just chasing every grant, but being intentional at what we're doing. My sisters out of Atlanta, when we met with them yesterday, I shared with them that's what we do this year. Be intentional. We want to look at who we are. I want you, if you're watching today, I want you to identify 2 initiatives in your organization. 2, just 2, to start off this first 90-day period in the year. I do things like that intentionally, look at quarters and see what we can do in 90 to 120 days and how much we can actually accomplish and say we did this. We were able to get this done. And so I want you to take a look at what happened in the last 90 days and what we need to do now to help you have, again, a year of opportunity, a year of clarity, and some preparation. We don't want to chase grants or we don't want to chase money. We want to be intentional about who we go after to help fund the vision that God has gave us, right? So we want to go fundraise. Our theme for this week, this year, this call is fundraising with faith plus strategy. And guess what, y'all? That equals sustainable support for your vision, for your mission, right? So let's start this year with a fundraising roadmap. Let me give you some things that we want to help you do, right? I want to help you clarify who you serve, impact, the impact you intend to achieve this year. What is the impact? And remember, funders want to know the impact that you're making out there with the people that you serve. So what is the impact? You know, you want to serve 20 people, you were only able to accomplish 10 of them. Okay, let's focus on the 10 and what was accomplished with the 10 and how do we get to the goal of 20, right? Revenue goals. How about the money plus your partners? Who is funding you and helping you fund your vision? We want to be intentional about who did it last year. Do we remain with them? Can we remain with them? Who we did not connect with and who we want to connect with. That's a lot said, but we can do that, everybody. And then funding sources you will cultivate. I mentioned come up with 2 main programs that you want to see come into play at the beginning of this year. We may change later on, but right now, let's focus on 2. And then we can be intentional about who we seek after for the funding of those initiatives, right? So think about this. Before you chase dollars, define the difference you want to make. Then build the path to find that. That's what we want to help you do right now. We don't want to chase the money. We want to define the difference you want to make. That's why I said pick 2. And then let's build a path so we can find a way to fund that. Does that make sense? Second thing I want us to focus on, hello, and I'm talking fast. You can come back and watch and review this. It's on my, I'm zooming it, so that means I'm recording it. It's on YouTube. Come on, somebody. You have to become a part of my YouTube channel, but it's there. You can subscribe to it on the YouTube channel, right? And then it's on LinkedIn, and it's right here on my Facebook channel. So you don't have any reason why you can't come back and get to these things. And praying that you're able to do so, right? Second thing I want to look at, let's look at grant trends for 2026. Focus plus where do we look at? Let's focus on those 2 ideas. And where do we look so that we can merge your vision with the funders who want to fund visions like that? Why? So that you can have a consistent cash flow, right? So now let's look federally, for example. Continuing investment in the workforce development area. Well, how about housing stability? We got, again, the ladies in Atlanta. We're looking at ways for housing stability. What about you all are working with clients and you want to help them become workable? Come on, somebody. Faith-based community partnership. Who's out there that you can connect to that become a community partner instead of trying to do it all? Maybe there's somebody out there that you can partner with. Hello, that can help you achieve that goal. That's what we're all looking for. There are departments worth watching like HUD, Health and Human Services, DOE, Department of Education, the Department of Commerce, right? Look for them and see what they're, go to grants.gov. You want to go to the government area, grants.gov, and then look under HUD, look under HHS, Health and Human Services. Look under DOE, the Department of Education. Look under the Department of Commerce. Those are infrastructure dollars, and they're still filtering down community-based organizations, but they're categorized and they're competitive, but yet you can find them. They're discretionary grants. So they're going to be specific to a plan or a program that you want to do. These are not just operational money. Yes, we can include some of that in the funding if the funding is available. Now is the time to begin to look for that. Many of the federal grants are released twice a year, and they shall be released in the next few months. Now is the time to look. How about state and local areas? Many states are launching innovative service delivery grants right now, and they have equity and outcome focused. They're equity and outcome focused funding. Local governments often have many grants for arts, housing, youth, senior services, perfect for community nonprofits. And so, how do you connect with these local people? And if you haven't built rapport with them, you need to begin to go to some of the council meetings. Get to know the council person for your area. Hello. Start meeting them people, becoming friends with them because they know where the money is at. And they will tell you how to get there. And instead of just sending out blind grants, you're sending grant requests and your proposals to specific named people. Go build relationships. You remember my book, The 5 R's for Successful Fundraising? It's on my webpage. That book has those 5 R's. Research, read, review what you read, write, and then build your relationships. Huh? You want to make sure you're building relationships with funders. And even if they turn you down for a grant, write or call them. Start building a relationship to find out what we did wrong in 2025. What can we do best in 2026 so that we can help qualify for that funding? They have money to give away, to give to you, and you need to find out how to get it. Huh? Come on, somebody. Foundations. What about the local foundation? Hospitals, businesses in your area? Many of them have foundations. Come on. So you can shift toward many-year general operating support, looking at foundations. Many of them will help you get multi-year operational support. Collaborative grants. I mentioned that earlier. You do one piece, another person do another piece, and y'all write that grant together. We're doing here in Melbourne, where we wrote together with an individual, with an organization to provide elderly care. Come on. How about impact measured giving? You can start seeking people who want to give to your organization because of the impact that you're making, the difference you're making. So that means your data ought to be able to show who you're serving, how many you're serving, what do you do with that, and then what are your goals for those people? Did you meet your goal? If you didn't, what do we need to do this year to fix and meet those goals? Are you with me? Am I making any sense to you all? So looking for funding where you work aligns with funders' priorities, not the other way around. They're looking for what's happening where you are instead of you're trying to go to them and say, I can do this anywhere and everywhere, right? Third thing, how about radar and ready approach? How about the radar and ready approach? Encouraging weekly rhythm is what I'm getting at, radar. Let's look at this. 3 places to scan weekly. This is your to-do list. Find 3 places to scan weekly. Federal grant database, your grants.gov. This is work now. State funding portals. Go to your state. Start looking at those same areas in the state. If the feds fund HHS HUD, you have a state HUD and a regional HUD. Reach out to those individuals. Then foundations notifications, like, again, your hospital, most of them have foundations. Many of the businesses in your area have foundations. Google foundations in your area, and they'll come up, right? Then ready. 3 things to maintain. First one was radar. Now let's find 3 things we want to maintain. You want to update your grant calendar. On your wall, you ought to have a calendar, right? And I have one on the wall for January, but I got my new one right here that I'm going to be putting up. And I have some things on my wall where I can write in the calendar. When is the grant due? And then when do I need to follow up with them? All right. 3 things we want to do there. The grant calendar. Then you want to update your impact story and the data about that story. What did we do in 2025? What difference did we make? and what we need to do better, right? And then template proposals and budget narratives. You ought to have your template already in your computer system. That's one of those things that we PD that me and Ella can help you with. My team can help you with your template proposals and your budget narrative. So that those things are already gelled. And that's why I always tell everybody, think about this. Don't chase the money, chase your vision. So if you know who you are and what you want to do and who you want to serve, it should already be set up in your template in your computer. So now all you have to do is add that to what the funder is looking for. Does that make sense? Because too often we're chasing money. So we have to change our vision. We have to change the work we have in order to get that money. No, don't chase the money. Chase your vision. And if you research properly, you'll find funders who want to fund your vision, and they will help you have a consistent cash flow. I'm telling you what I know is right, not because somebody told me. We've experienced this with WePete Inc. and Kingdom Fundraisers for years. I've been teaching that same philosophy for years, and I have proven that it works. Many of the organizations that we work with, when we lock in our vision, that last piece that I just told you about, when we lock in this readiness, updating our calendar, updating our impact story, our template for proposals and our budget narrative, when we lock that in, it doesn't change. We might need to add to it or take away, excuse me, from it for people who we are who are funders that ask specific questions. We might have to make a change or two for dates or something like that. But the proposal narrative, your impact story, your budget narrative, that shouldn't change. You should already know, how much do I need to operate this business, right? How much do I need to fund this program? Every program should have a funding narrative or budget. Every program that you have, each one should be different. You ought to have an operational budget. You ought to know, who is my staff, what do I need for staff, and how much am I paying them? So in every grant, you're not asking for $100,000 to do your whole payroll. No, maybe you portion of that, and we'll talk about that some other time. A portion of each grant or each fundraising initiative, you want to use a portion to cover the cost of specific people in your program. But the overall program, you shouldn't ask for the same amount of money for every program. Just a portion, including your rent, your utilities, all of those things, the operational costs, your personnel, you can add those things, all right? So call to actions. Here's your things to do as we get ready to close. Download the 2026 Fundraising Launch Checklist. Contact me, DM me, write me, and request 2026 Fundraising Launch Checklist. I do have one. I'm willing to share that with you, but you must contact me in order to get it. Is that all right? Number 2, commit to a weekly funding habit. Listen, schedule 60 minutes weekly for research. A week, 1 hour a week to do specific research. All right? Share their top 3 funders that are found. Let me know who you found this week that you can help partner with. Then tag my show. Tell people about what we do. Contact me and let me know where you're at, what you're doing in your search. Number 3, prep your impact snapshot. You ought to be able to tell somebody in an elevator ride who you are, what you do, and what impact you make. Then you want to know more about it, you can get deeper. But you ought to be able to do an elevator pitch. And elevators usually go from 1 to 3 floors, and many of rarely are you doing a high rise or a skyscraper. So you ought to be able to tell somebody in a matter of seconds, who you are and what you do. Many of the reels that we have are 30-second reels. Sometimes you're fortunate enough to get a minute. You ought to be able to explain who you are and what you do in that short amount of time. Set 3 goals for the whole year. We now is the time to set your 2026 goals. And then how about testimony highlights with data? Who have you helped? Who have you served? Can you get them to write or tell you about that? Okay? And the last one, join Kingdom Fundraisers, my community lab. Connect with me. I invite you to join me weekly, monthly for live workshops, accountability groups, and coaching You're also included to get a coaching call. We want to invite you to be a part of our Kingdom Fundraisers community. It's really our network, Kingdom Fundraisers Network. Um, this year, we kind of just tagged it with the Community Lab, because these things will help you shape your vision, your strategy. Will help you be able to find foundations from grants, federal, state opportunities. Will help you communicate and tell your story. Get your organization, do organizational readiness with you. We have a new young lady that has just contacted us from Houston, and her need is to develop her 501c3 and shape her vision. Why? So that she can find funders to fund that vision. We do all of that. That's organizational readiness. And then we provide some engagement activities for you, some specific call to actions, hand-on work for you. So thanks for joining me today for another edition of Funding Fridays, right here on Kingdom Fundraisers, the live podcast. I am your host, Willie Peterson. Everybody calls me Pastor Willie, and I'm truly glad that you took the time to be with me today. And my prayer, hello somebody, my prayer is that something you heard encourages you, that it challenges you, and it gives you clarity as you move forward in your fundraising journey. So if today's episode bless you, be sure to share it with someone who's building, leading, believing God for their provision. And remember this, fundraising doesn't have to be stressful when it's done with faith, structure, and intention. Till next Friday, stay encouraged, stay faithful, keep funding the vision that God has entrusted you with. God bless you. And I'll see you this time next week. 2026, it isn't about fantastic fundraising or frantic fundraising. It's about strategic faithfulness, seeking clarity, building consistency, and watch God open doors that others have closed. God bless you. God keep you. And again, thanks for joining me today.